guys, it's Fixter here and welcome to my channel. So this is going to be like a guide to building on The Sims 4 because I follow quite a few groups on Facebook and Twitter, and I've noticed there's quite a few people that do struggle to build on The Sims 4, and I just think it's kind of a shame because I think to get the full experience of playing The Sims 4, you should have your Sims live in houses, retail units, etc., that you've actually built yourself. So, usually I've got an idea in my mind of what I want, but it's just how to sort of translate an idea into an actual design. So, I wanted to build like a small modern house. I wanted it sort of minimalist and like clean lines, and I wanted sort of glass, and I didn't want it to be sort of too fancy. I wanted it to be quite simple and very clean lines, etc. So what I normally do is look for inspiration from just doing a search on Google. So I put in sort of small modern house on Google, and I found this image of a really nice house. Like I said, it's clean lines, there's lots of glass, and it's even got a sort of a deck area with a pool, and the upper half of the house is sort of separated. There's a big open area here on the right hand side at the front, and the other part of the building is on sort of two levels, and there's like a balcony at the end. So I'm going to at least try to build a version of this in The Sims 4. Now, you have to understand that this is real life, obviously, so any shape or design is possible, but in The Sims 4 we do have limitations. So although I would love to build this house exactly as how it is, it's not really possible in The Sims 4, mainly because of the roof shapes. So it doesn't mean that you can't build something similar to it in The Sims 4. You just sort of use it as like a guide or inspiration. This is the house that we're looking at, and like I said, it's fairly straight lines, and the decking with the pool and the balcony on the other side. So to get started, we need our pool area and the decking. So it's fine to keep referring back to the picture that you've found. We need a deck here, so we just want a flat square. I've used quite a big lot for this tutorial. Basically, you can use any lot that you like. This one's in Oasis Springs. Okay, so we've got a deck here now, and again, if we want to refer back to our picture, that's roughly about the same size. Well, I might make it a little bit wider because you've also got to think of the pool's got to go in the middle, and you need at least 5 squares on each side to be able to add a pool. Here's the pool. Okay, so that's the pool added there, and again we can refer back to the picture. Okay, so there is a slight foundation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the rough design of the house first, build the actual structure, and then I'll use the foundation tool to sort of raise it up a little bit. Okay, so if we go into building, and basically it's an L-shaped room. The entire house is like an L shape. So I'll just place that here, and then we can rotate it. Okay, so that's roughly the angle that we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend that so it comes up to where the pool is. I'm going to extend that, and then I'm just going to sort of match the shape to the pool. Okay, so now I'm going to move this part back. Okay, and then I'm going to move this here. Okay, so we've got our L shape here. You can sort of adjust it so the dimensions are what you want. I think I'm actually going to make this move sort of further back. So I'm going to move that back, and I'm going to widen the pool, the decking area as well. Now you can actually pick up the pool and move it. So I've just done that now. Okay, so we've got our basic house shape here. I'll just put the go up a floor so you can see the roof. Okay, we've got our house here, and we've got the deck with the pool. If we refer back to our picture, we can see that there is like an open area on this side with like the balcony, and there's like a couple of columns here as well. So we want to try and incorporate that into our build. So what we need to do is put another deck in. So flat square, add that, and just make it sort of flow with the dimensions of the house. Okay. If you need to sort of extend it, you can do. Okay. So that's our decking. We also need an upper balcony as well. So I'm going to put another deck here, and this will form our balcony. And we'll just move it out to where the lower balcony is. Okay, so that is our upper floor done there. We can refer back to the picture. Okay, so we've got the upper floor there. So now we need to work on the other parts of the house. So we need a second floor, obviously, because it's a two-story build. So we can just draw our upper floor here. Just follow the guide of the house. Okay, so that's the upper floor done. And we can go up a floor as well there. If we refer back to our picture, that's roughly the structure that we've built in The Sims. What we need now is to decide whether we want to leave the roof flat or whether we want to put a roof on it. If we refer back to the picture, it's pretty flat apart from there's this sort of lip that goes sort of halfway down the side here. We need to decide whether we want to incorporate that into our design or whether we want to leave it out. A lot of building with the Sims is trial and error, because in real life you can pretty much build any shape that you want, but in The Sims we do have some restrictions regarding the roof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a go at trying to sort of recreate that rounded shape. So I've used the half gabled roof, and I'm just going to rotate it. Okay, so we'll make it a bit flatter, because obviously it's not that high. And then you've got the ball tool there. I call it a ball tool. I don't know what the technical word for it is, but hey. So I've just made it rounded, and I'll just stretch it out. Okay, that's sort of a similar shape. Let's see what happens if we pull it down a bit. Okay, it kind of goes out a bit, like more far than I want it to. Like I said, it's completely up to yourself. If you want to try and build various shapes, just have a go. Just really try. Okay, so I quite like how that looks, even though if I refer back to the picture, it's not quite the same. I do like it. So I think usually if I do one design on one part of the house, I like to mirror it on the other. I just think it looks more sort of aesthetically pleasing. So I'm just going to rotate that one. Okay, and I'm going to make it flatter, obviously, and then we're going to use the ball tool to round it out, and then cover the house with it. Okay, so I'll just lower that a bit. Okay, I'm going to lower that a bit as well because it's kind of touchy. Okay, so I quite like that effect, even though it's not the same on the actual image that we've referred back to. It does actually work in The Sims 4. It looks quite good, so I'm going to keep that like that. Okay, so referring back to our picture, we've got the balcony here, and the roof sort of extends above. I'm going to actually make this roof flat, because if you see, it sort of goes straight out. So you can sort of extend that if you want. Like I said, just sort of see how you feel about it. Let me just look at the picture again. Okay, so it is slightly rounded on the other side as well. Okay, I think that's actually going to work with the rounding there. So I'm going to carry on, and we actually need, let me just refer back to the picture. There is like a wall at the top and then columns at the bottom. So let's see if we can translate that back into the Sims. I'm just going to build a wall here at the end. Okay, so create a little wall there. And as you can see, that doesn't quite reach, so we can extend that. Okay, so that's like the little sort of balcony area there. And we've got obviously the balcony below as well. I'm just going to pull that back because it looks a bit wide. Okay. Right, so that's the same size. Okay. So we need a couple of columns around here. If we refer back to the picture, see there's the two columns there. Let's see what columns we can use. So we click on columns, and they are sort of just normal round columns. So I'm just going to go with these ones here. So I've got one column there and one column there. Okay, let me just refer back to the picture. Yeah, it just does look like two columns there, nothing more. Okay, so that's our two columns. Like I said, if you want to add another column or whatever, you can do. What I might actually do, because I think it looks kind of nice, is put two columns on each side. I just think it sort of looks like it supports the house better, and it looks better than sort of just one column on its own. Okay, so we've got the basic design of the house there. As I said, it's not exactly as in the picture, but we've just used it as a guide more than anything, so we can get the build that we want. Now, the other thing we need to do is actually raise the foundation, because there is a slight elevation on the picture. So I'm just going to raise it up a little bit. Okay, so there you go. There's a little bit of a lip, and there's a little bit of a lip there as well. Okay, so that's the basic exterior done. So if we refer back to our picture, there's some windows down here and some windows here, and I'm going to try and recreate that in our build. So we've got windows that need to be here at the front. Okay, and they are quite big, sort of wide open windows. So we'll use these ones. Okay, as you can see, it doesn't quite cover the entire house. So what I usually do is use these big windows, and then I'll fill it in with the smaller windows like that. Okay, so that is basically the windows at the bottom. They're done. As you can see, it's there on the picture. Okay, so what we need to do now is remove the floor on this level, just in this area here, because as you can see on the house, this is completely open. So we're going to do that now. And the way of doing that in The Sims is to build a wall here. Okay, so this area is sort of self-contained, and then we basically left click it and remove the floor. Okay. The same technique works for balconies as well. If you want like an open balcony and that sort of thing, you can do. It also works on the basement tool as well. So you can make your basement open. If you want to check out my tutorial for that, you can do. It's one of my highest viewed videos, so a lot of people seem to like it. Okay, so that's our area open now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a taller wall. So you just basically click on the build area of the house that you want, and I've put tall wall, and I'm going to do a tall wall here as well. Okay, so the house is much higher now, as you can see, and this house is pretty tall as well, because you can see those big windows. So we need to recreate those big windows. I actually think I'm gonna change these ones as well, because we've made the house taller. I can use bigger windows. So there you go. There's those, and I'm just basically using the same windows as I did before, just they're on a taller scale. So we're going to do them around here as well. Okay, and we're going to do it above as well. So we're just mirroring what we've done at the bottom at the top as well. Okay, so there you go. There's the windows, roughly the same as they are in the pictures, and then we need to do the other part of the house. So if we look back, there is actually a balcony there. Can you see the sort of the house is a little bit set back on the second floor? So what I can do is sort of build a wall inside and then get rid of the outside wall to make the room sort of the same shape. But I'm not sure if I want to do that. I just think I kind of like the way the house looks at the moment. So I don't think I'm actually going to put a balcony bit in here because we've got a balcony there and we've got a lower deck as well. I'm just going to keep that as it is. Like I said, you can take any as much artistic license as you like with your build. So I'm just going to put windows in here and windows down there as well. So we've got our windows. And then I'm just going to put those like that. And those. I'm basically just mirroring what I've done at the bottom at the top. Okay, so there are our windows. If we go back to the picture, so we've done the windows here, we've done the windows there, the windows in the upper level and the windows in the bottom level. Okay, so the rest of it is kind of like texturing. I'm putting sort of rails in as well. Okay, so we've got a railing on each side of the balconies here. So or a fence if you want to call it that. Okay, this is a more modern look, and I do quite like it. So I think I'm going to use those. So now we need to texture the exterior. As we can see on the picture, it's pretty white. I think I'm going to go with that as well. I'm going to try and do this a similar texture. Okay, so if we go into our wall patterns and okay, there's one here. Plaster makes perfect. We've got one in white, and that is white. But I guess in the sun it looks kind of like a cream colour. So just fill these in. Okay, so that's all the texturing done for the exterior of the house. Just make sure I haven't missed any bits. No, that looks okay. Right, so the roof is also white. So let's see what roofs we can use. Okay, there's a white roof here. We can use that. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. It's very modern and contemporary, which is what we're after. I've just realised that I haven't textured this wall on the balcony area, so I've just textured that now. Okay. So that's the basic outside texturing. Now on the picture we can't actually see where it looks on the other side. If you can see there. I think this part is basically just all closed up, to be honest, because most of the windows seem to be at the front of the building, and I can just sort of see reflections. I think this part might be open at the back actually. I'm going to try and recreate that as well, I think. So let's go to our windows. Okay, so okay, I think I need to extend it a little bit further. So you can use the Sims 3 camera, but I'm not so keen on it. But if you want to sort of change the angle and things, it does work pretty well, as you can see here. So if I look down there, see that room is kind of open at the back there, which is basically how it is in the picture. Okay, so I'm just going to put the camera back because, like I said, I don't really like the Sims 3 camera. Apply changes. Okay, So that's the basic exterior done, and the windows, as we can see on the picture. I don't think there are any other windows in the other areas at the back of the house, so I'm just going to go with that, I think. Um, Also, another trick, you see this area is sort of all grass, um, so we can actually recreate that here as well. Even though we're in Oasis Springs and it's sandy, we can change the terrain. So I'm going to go with the extra large square brush, and we want it quite heavy. So I'm going to go with this deep forest green, which is basically how it looks in the picture. So I'm just going to fill this in. So we've got the grass, and you can basically do that for the entire lot. Okay, so I think that is the entire lot all grassed. Okay, let's refer back to the picture. So it doesn't actually show a door on here that I can see, but I think that this part here is like a door. So I'm gonna do that here as well. If you notice, also the decking sort of extends here. It's like a walkway. That's what makes me sort of think that this is the front door. So I'm going to add that decking in as well. There's my deck, and I only want it as wide as the door. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so that's made our decking wider. So I'm going to get rid of this window here, and we'll look for a door. There we go. Because it's a tall wall, we need to use a tall door. Okay, so we've got the tall door here. We've put that in. Okay, so now we've got our front door here, and we've got the walkway. The other thing that we need to texture is the decking area. So if we refer back to the picture, it looks like a very light wood. I'm going to have a look at my floor patterns, and okay, that looks like a very light wood. Yeah, okay, that looks nice. And I'm going to do it on the other side as well, and on the balcony upstairs. Okay, so that looks pretty good for the exterior of the house. So that is basically how I get inspired to do the exterior of the house. I'll find a picture on Google and try to imitate it as much as possible within the restrictions of The Sims. You can also do the same with the interior of the house as well. So if you sort of have a look for sort of living rooms, bathrooms that you like, and just Google it to find inspiration. You can also use the Sims resource or similar websites to download custom content if you want to be, as accurate as possible with the pictures that you're looking at. Or you can use the items in the base game to get a effect that you're going for. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap this up now. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!